I just want to record because I want to ask you about, do you think, because, and other people I've been talking to, they're worried about the woke left culture, not left. I think it's good how people they're starting to use different terms like you're a liberal and then a leftist. They're kind of, because, words can never describe exactly what's happening, but you have to use them and labels. Yeah. So like I think I'm a lefty. I think I'm more of a lefty now, especially having a discussion with this pro-life man. I feel like more of a pro-choice person. I'm much, I've been told, you can't talk to your enemies. I think it's a better, so maybe that mentality that you have to stay to your side and not talk to your enemy because they are the enemy. And
it's like 70%, I heard that yesterday, 70 or 80%, I think it was, something there and thereabouts, of lefties will not read conservative anythings if presented with the information, including an 800-word article. They won't read it. So there's 20 to 30%.
Wow.
Big hay figure. 20-30% will not read even an 800-page 800-word article, a conservative-leaning article, much less actually pick up one of the conservative books and read that. I find that an interesting little fact.
It seems beyond suspicion. Like we just want... It's like, well, the left dream, the utopia didn't come, but I reckon it's come. I reckon the 90s was when we were free and there were, there's always going to be a side that... because I would think our enemies when we were younger, the enemy that we perceived was the conservative, religious, the ones that want to shut down your, who you are. Yeah. Like, if you're unmarried and you're living with someone, that kind of thing. And now, people are really hating religious people, I've found.
Yeah.
And they want to get rid of religion altogether. They don't know what would happen. I mean, that's what, I guess, the communism...
All of Western culture at the moment, they're really sort of attacking all of those kinds of things. I mean, Western culture is essentially Christian-based, and so they have that sort of they have a Christian moral tendency, but they want to gut the Christian church or the Catholic church, just remove them from the face of the earth and what have you. And then they've got like a Christian-based morality, and it's an interesting subject. That's it.
Yeah, because I agree that the church,
how it's all getting sort of moved around and shifted, and how the left is sort of gutting the right, and the conservative left and the conservative right, and they all... religion's definitely under fire. The religious discrimination bill is I think we've got the religious discrimination bill. I think the US has got a religious discrimination bill. The Equality Act, I believe.
I don't know if it passed.
We're all trying for the same thing. So it'd be interesting to see. I'm interested to see what they want to replace that with. It's my interest. That's what I'm trying to figure out at the moment.
Yeah, well, I hear, because I did enjoy conservative speakers and YouTubers. They're starting to be a bit too Christianised for me. It's weird because we're talking about how religions are being shut down or whatever, and then there's a revival of Christian. I like what's his name, Charlie Kirk. I'm kind of not digging, but then I challenge myself. I'll listen to him.
Yeah.
He'll say all this great shit, and then he'll go, Jesus, blah, 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 and I go, yep, time to turn off. Jesus said, the Bible says, and I'm like, I don't know if that has any relevance, except that's what they're following. It is a Christian, I shouldn't be so anti-Bible, I guess.
Well, I think it's just American conservatives are still very, very religious. I think you get over very undertones and slight overtones with the British conservatives, and soft undertone with Australian conservatives.
I am drinking juice. It looks like a mimosa or something.
What is it?
Just juice.
Okay.
I think that, this discussion attracts people from 12-step groups. So I wouldn't want, I'm not promoting.
That's interesting as well. How did like 12 steps can be, is that Christian, religious, or any sort of spiritual?
Yeah, well, that's another interesting part that I feel like I've been missing 12-step groups, and what they do, you sit in a meeting and you say what comes to your head. And I was wanting to kind of recreate that. Like the echo. So I think you don't really go to 12-step. I'm not going to out people, but most of the people, no, I shouldn't even say. But I think people that are from 12-step groups understand this more, that you have to be able to express yourself and not be put down and told that you're wrong. And I think, like the original question was to this video was like the fear that the leftists, the extreme left, are going to take over, and I don't really have that fear because it's so ridiculous to just shut people down like humans. I think it's causing depression and divorce and like violence.
That treat people as mechanical animals or something, and they're all some sort of pagan mechanical animal. You know, the sort of lack of a God, whatever God is, whatever God might be. There's such complete and utter denial of any form of God or spiritual or soul or anything. That's sort of something that I've noticed is at the left, it doesn't exist. So that's really interesting. Interesting for me to see how they get around with that.
So scientific materialism.
The great book is called People Dying for the Want of a Story. It's like a Latrobe academic, I think. It really struck me 3 or 4 years ago, and it really seems to be really quite real.
What's it about?
Well, because God is dead throughout the entirety of culture, we're sort of doing all sorts of things to try and manufacture a new spiritual space or a new space. But politics is a space that people are using, like the left have that sort of political, almost religiosity.
Yeah.
Using.
What discipline would that have come from? Like
philosophy, I'm pretty sure. It was philosophy would be made of philosophy or maybe sociology. I can't remember. I think it's called People Dying for the Want of a Story. It's probably 2006 or something. That's mid-noughties. But a really, really interesting book. But the left definitely appear to have that sometimes religious tendencies. Some of them are acting like Puritans. Maybe you're puritanical, the cancel culture sort of. I can see Puritans when I hear some of them go on. Like, you're acting like Puritans. Holy wow! You've got the pink hair and the blue piercings or whatever, and acting puritanical like the Puritans and the witch hunts, and wow, really interesting sort of phenomenon.
Yeah, because it's like if you don't agree and they're stuck in a bubble of like. Because, when I was in a Christian group, you're in this bubble and you can't believe that others don't feel how you do. And that was a strange thing that I actually got caught up in that, that I didn't know enough non-Christians for a while, that I was just, like ignorant to the outside world because Christianity, I can't even remember that feeling, but it was the truth. And maybe that if I listened to anyone else, that it would suddenly not be the truth, and I wanted it to be. I really felt secure, and I haven't felt secure for 6 or 7 years. Oh, did you go? Did you drop out? Anyway, I'll just end that.